Cabo Rushes by Joseph Jacobs. Well, there was once a very rich gentleman, and he had 3 daughters, and he thought he'd see how fond they were of him. So he said to the first, "How much do you love me, my dear?" "Why," said she, "as I love my life." "That's good," said he. So he said to the second, "How much do you love me, my dear?" "Why," said she, "better than all the world." "That's good," said he. So he said to the third, "How much do you love me, my dear?" "Why, I love you as fresh meat loves salt," said she. Well, he was angry. "You don't love me at all," said he, "and in my house you stay no more." So he drove her out there and then, and shut the door in her face. Well, she went away on, till she came to a fen, and there she gathered a lot of rushes, and made them into a kind of cloak with a hood, to cover her from head to foot, and to hide her fine clothes. And then she went on, till she came to a great house. "Do you want a maid?" said she. "No, we don't," said they. "I have nowhere to go," said she, "and I ask no wages, and do any sort of work," said she. "Well," said they, "and scrape the saucepans, you may stay." So she stayed there and washed the pots and scraped the saucepans, and did all the dirty work, and because she gave no name, they called her Cabo Rushes. Well, one day there was to be a great dance a little way off, and the servants were allowed to go and look on at the grand people. Cabo Rushes said she was too tired Cabo Rushes to go, so she stayed at home. But when they were gone, she offed with her Cabo Rushes, and cleaned herself, and went to the dance. And no one there was so finely dressed as she. Well, who should be there but her master's son? And what should he do but fall in love with her the minute he set eyes on her? He wouldn't dance with anyone else. But before the dance was done, Cabo Rushes slipped off, and away she went home. And when the other maids came back, she was pretending to be asleep, with her Cabo Rushes on. Well, next morning they said to her, "You did miss a sight, Cabo Rushes." "What was that?" said she. "The beautifulest lady you ever saw, dressed right gay and grand. The young master, he never took his eyes off her." "Well, I should have liked to have seen her," said Cabo Rushes. "Well, there's to be another dance this evening, and perhaps she'll be there." But come the evening, Cabo Rushes said she was too tired to go with them. However, when they were gone, she offed with her Cabo Rushes and cleaned herself, and away she went to the dance. The master's son had been reckoning on seeing her, and he danced with no one else, and never took his eyes off her. But before the dance was over, she slipped off, and home she went. And when the maids came back, she pretended to be asleep with her Cabo Rushes on. Next day, they said to her again, "Well, Cabo Rushes, you should have been there to see the lady." There she was again, gay and grand, and the young master, he never took his eyes off her. "Well, there," she said, "I should have liked to have seen her." "Well," said they, "there's a dance again this evening, and you must go with us, for she is sure to be there." Well, come that evening, Cabo Rushes said she was too tired to go, and do what they would, she stayed at home. But when they were gone, she offed her Cabo Rushes and cleaned herself, and away she went to the dance. The master's son was very glad when he saw her. He danced with none but her, and never took his eyes off her. When she wouldn't tell him her name, nor where she came from, he gave her a ring, and told her if he didn't see her again, he should die. Well, before the dance was over, off she slipped, and home she went. And when the maids came home, she was pretending to be asleep with her cabourushes on. Well, next day they said to her, "There, cabourushes, you didn't come last night, and now you won't see the lady, for there's no more dances." "Well, I should have liked to have seen her," said she. The master's son tried every way to find out where the lady had gone, but go where he might, and ask whom he might, he never heard anything about her, and he got worse and worse for the love of her till he had to keep his bed. "Make some gruel for the young master," they said to the cook. "He's dying for the love of the lady." The cook set about making it. When cabourushes came in, "I am going to make some gruel for the young master," said the cook, "for he's dying for the love of the lady." "Let me make it," said cabourushes. Well, the cook wouldn't at first, but at last she said yes, and cabourushes made the gruel. And when she had made it, she slipped the ring into it on the sly before the cook took it upstairs. The young man drank it, and then he saw the ring at the bottom. "Send for the cook," said he. So up she came. "Who made this gruel here?" said he. "I did," said the cook, for she was frightened, and he looked at her. "No, you didn't," said he. "Say who did it, and you shan't be harmed." "Well then, it was cabourushes," said she. "Send cabourushes here," said he. So cabourushes came. "Did you make my gruel?" said he. "Yes, I did," said she. "Where did you get this ring?" said he. "From him that gave it me," said she. "Who are you then?" said the young man. "I'll show you," said she. And she took off her cabourushes, and there she was in her beautiful clothes. Well, the master's son soon recovered, and they were to be married in a little time. It was to be a very grand wedding, and everyone was asked far and near, and cabourushes' father was asked, but she never told anybody who she was. But before the wedding, she went to the cook, and she said, "I want you to dress every dish without a grain of salt." "That'll be nasty," said the cook. "That doesn't matter," said she. "Very well," said the cook. Well, the wedding day came, and they were married. And after they were married, all the company sat down to the dinner. When they began to eat the meat, it was so tasteless they couldn't eat it. But cabourushes' father tried first one dish, and then another, and then he burst out crying. "What's the matter?" said the master's son to him. "Oh," said he, "I had a daughter, and I asked her how much she loved me, and she said as much as fresh meat loves salt, and I turned her from my door, for I thought she didn't love me, and now I see she loved me best of all, and she may be dead for aught I know." "No, father, here she is," said cabourushes, and she went up to him and put her arms round him, and so they were all happy ever after.